So we got to start with this clip from December 2016. This is the first evidence that I've seen that I even knew what a bridge was. And honestly guys, this is embarrassing for me to show you, mostly because you can tell that I think that I'm so slick here. Oh, this part where I stick the leg up, like, what was I thinking? I was a smooth dancer or something. A little embarrassing, but honestly, I'm glad that I have this clip because this is where my journey begins. So you guys can see here, this is basically where I started in 2017 and boom, this is where I am today, 2021. So a lot of progress has been made in the bridge over the last 4 years or so. Now what you'll see is that I didn't necessarily train the bridge hard for these 4 years. You guys can make this progress a lot faster than I did, especially if you pay attention to where I made mistakes. And if you follow the tips and the exercises that I'm gonna share with you, you will make some light speed progress. With that being said, the bridge can take some time, so prepare for a journey. So for me, I started out really stiff. In my younger years, I was mostly doing bench press and deadlifts. These are things that don't really support having a nice open back bridge. Now what I see when I search on YouTube for back bridge, most tutorials are from females who have maybe been dancing or doing gymnastics their whole life. And if you are more like me, developing your bridge from a very stiff place, you're going to need something a bit different. So I think the bridge is such an awesome position to develop because it displays full body mobility. So I'll show some clips here of some awesome movers in the calisthenics YouTube community. And what you'll see from a good bridge is that the hips get fully extended and open. The spine fully extends, not just through that low back, but also the upper back. Those shoulders open up, and usually those shoulders go forward over the hands, and the way that you accomplish that is being able to open your hip. Now let's check out a few pictures of me in 2017 when this journey began. So what you'll see here is that the hips are just not getting open. You can tell that I have super tight hip flexors and quads. You can see that all of the extension in my spine is coming from the low back, and that's not where you want it. And you can also see that the shoulders are just not able to open. Now, what you'll see in a bridge is that if your arm is in front of your ear, that's not gonna relate to a very open bridge. Now, if we can get that arm to the ear and then behind it, that's gonna result in a very open shoulder and a nice looking bridge or wheel pose, as they call it. So these first pictures and clips are from June 2017. This is when I really became interested in the bridge, and I was like, you know what? I wanna go hard at making this bridge better. And I had two goals. I wanted to just have a nice looking bridge, like that's cool. And one of my other goals was to use the bridge in cool types of movement flows. So I train very, very hard for the next 6 months. I train about 2 times a week, and I do a variation of the routine that I'm about to get to. So then we arrive February 2018, and this happened. So you see massive improvements in how the bridge looks. It actually looks more like a bridge, like you could walk across it. I was really happy with the progress that I made. Looking back on it now, you can still see that a lot of the extension is coming from the low back. And what you can't see in the clip is that the position was still not comfortable for me at all. Truth be told, I had to get pretty jacked up on caffeine to train the bridge, or else it was just super painful. So I'd only do my sessions in the morning after coffee. And that's kind of a pro tip if you guys are super stiff and it's like really feels awful getting into that position. You can use a little caffeine to ease those feelings. But I'll show you right here around the same time. This is what we call a Qdr Circle. And this is really bad. It's sloppy, it's not soft at all. I'll show you from current day 2021 what this position can look like. And this is a clear sign that I just wasn't very strong in this open extended position. But nonetheless, I was very happy with my progress, and I felt like really inspired to just use my bridge. And for the rest of 2018 and 2019, that's basically what I did. I got very into capoeira, I got more into movement flows, And my movement really improved, and I started to be able to access that bridge position and to use it almost just like the same that you would use a crawl or a cartwheel, and this started to feel really awesome. But I wasn't necessarily working on my bridge position too much during those years. I worked a lot more on low bridge and bridge rotations, like you'll see me doing right here, and I'm not gonna focus too much on those in this video, but if you would like to see me get more into depth on those and do a video, then comment below. If we get enough comments, I will definitely do that. Bone broth, tasty. So 2020 hits. Like any motivated individual, I set some goals. And one of the goals that comes to mind is a bridge kickover. So let's show someone doing a nice smooth bridge kickover, a very flexible person. So you see how beautiful this movement can look. And I started to feel like, maybe that's something that I could actually do. And I thought that if I was able to do that, that would really display a huge change in where I started with the bridge and where I got to. So I chatted with my friend, Will Brown, and he helped me come up with a plan for attaining this goal. If you guys haven't checked out Will, his Instagram, I'm gonna pop it right here. He's an awesome dude. Super beautiful mover, check them out. So early 2020, I start training with some bridge drop backs, which is essentially just going into a bridge from a standing position. And as you can see, it was a bit of a struggle early on, very scary, just bending over backwards, but I improved and I got better at it. I then started using the wall for assistance to kick myself over. And that started to feel good, but it still felt like to be able to do that from the ground was ages away. But then, a few months later in August 2020, this happened. And that made me happy. So I was definitely using a bit of momentum there for sure, but nonetheless, I was super happy and I knew that my bridge was improving just from doing this movement. So this was inspiring to me, and over the rest of 2020, I was working on the bridge, not super intensely, maybe once a week. I was working on some of the things that I'm gonna show you very soon. And as you can see here in this clip in June 2020, the bridge position is starting to look pretty good and pretty open. When I see this now, I can still tell that the hips are still not really fully extended, but nonetheless, we're seeing some gradual improvement for sure. So then January 2021, this is one of the clips that I'm still most proud of. And it was because I was able to integrate this bridge kickover into a movement flow. So it's one thing to be able to get there and really crank the shoulders and use momentum to kick back, but it's another thing to just be out there flowing about and then throw one in there. This signaled to me that I really owned this movement. And you can see that it looks good and that my body looks to be pretty comfortable there. So I keep working on my bridge around once a week, and then in March 2021, I'm taking a road trip. I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's no cars around. I decided to stop and get a quick stretch in and to just try to open up my body for 20 minutes to break up the driving. And this happened. So this is definitely the best that my bridge has ever looked. And if we look at the clip, we can see all those good things that we want from the bridge. The hips are finally getting extended. I'm pushing my shoulders over the wrists. The upper back is extending. Those shoulders are opening. Ooh, all in the middle of a road, in the middle of Oregon. Let me just refer to my notes here. Guys, I took notes for this video. Click like for that one. So a little bit after this, I ended up injuring my ankle, and this took me out from being able to do all the dynamic movement for a while. So then we arrived just a couple months ago. This is a clip from Hawaii stretching, and I'm very, very happy with where my bridge is at. Not just the aesthetic portion of it, but what has really improved is how the bridge actually feels to me. Now, throughout those early years, I was getting much better in the bridge. The bridge was looking better. I was able to use it. But what I have to say is that it always still just felt very jarring going into the position. And it would almost cause me to kind of hold my breath or to breathe very shallowly. Now here in current day, I'm very comfortable there. I'm able to relax my body. I'm able to take a deep breath in, and that's a huge sign that you've made big progress in a position. So I tell a lot of the people that I work with in the Primal Athlete to pick big goals to achieve smaller things. So sometimes we figure out, wow, my chest, my shoulders are really tight. I need to stretch and open that up. So you can constantly stretch the shoulders, but if you pick a position like the bridge, then you actually have a goal to work towards and you actually have something to track your progress. So you can see if the stretching is actually helping, and you can try out different things to see maybe this works better for me than this does. And we keep on progressing forward. Now the other really cool thing about the bridge is that it opens up a lot of movement opportunities. When I first started doing capoeira, I thought that the macaco was the coolest movement ever. Truth be told, I still do. And when I was first trying to get the macaco, it was terrible. But one of the main things that helped me achieve the macaco and get more comfortable there was actually just improving at my bridge. It'll also help you make other movements, things like back handspring or backwards cartwheel. It'll make those so much easier. So first I want to share the movements that really prepare you to do well in the bridge. So as you saw from me over my journey, one of the really hard things was for me to actually extend and open my hip. One of the most effective stretches to help open that hip flexor in the quad is the couch stretch. I've done this so much over the years, and it took a while, but finally my hip is nice and open, as you can see in my bridge. So I always like to have people start with getting their knee all the way to the wall. Now you can start with keeping your hand down on the ground and your torso more leaned forward and just feeling that stretch and that hip start to open. As soon as you can, you want to raise that torso up. That's going to push the hip forward and you'll really start to feel an intense stretch there. So next is to start working on this upper spine mobility. I think the best way to start doing this is an overhead thoracic opener. So as you can see here, I'm down in a kneeling position. I like being kneeling because it really tucks my hips and it allows me to keep my rib cage very tucked and hollow. This allows me to work on this position of getting my arm back behind my ear. So you saw in my bridge journey where I started with that arm in front, and over time I got here, and this is one of the stretches that allows you to do that. Now you can do this from standing, using a wall, or you can do the butcher block variation, which is another one that I used over the years that is very, very effective for opening up that spine and shoulder. So I describe how to do this very well in this video. We're going to place those elbows down on the surface. We're going to walk the knees back, and then from here, you're going to press the chest downwards without extending the spine, right? Keep a good neutral spine by keeping your core muscles on, and then push that chest down. So in the beginning, if you're stiff, it's gonna look more like this. You're not gonna be able to get this nice even line between the arms and the torso, and that's okay. Okay, so what I want you to do with me is I want you to round your upper back, and then I want you to press it down. Press that chest downwards, let the arms come up to your ears, and then let's go back to the rounded back. So if you're stiff in the front of the shoulder, like I was, then one of the things that you're really gonna have to do is use strength from the back of the shoulder to open this up. What I've found very effective over the years to do this is the shoulder dislocate. So you can hold a broomstick, you can hold a band, even a towel. Now, the more stiff you are, the wider you wanna grip this. And what we're essentially looking to do is just rotate the shoulder all the way back and then through. Now what I've found is these positions here where you're bringing the arm behind you, this teaches your shoulder how to activate and be strong in this position, and it's very similar to the way that you'll use those muscles in a bridge. Over time you can try to narrow that grip, and that's going to require more mobility from the shoulder. So those 3 exercises will really prepare you to be more comfortable when you start actually going into the bridge. And the exercise that I really like to start with is the one-arm crab or one-arm bridge. This allows us to start to feel what a bridge is like. So we put one arm down on the ground behind us, and we really want to press our shoulder away, pressing it away from the ear and learning how to activate the shoulder in this bridge position. And now we get to see what it feels like to push that hip up and to start to extend the spine. Now you just want to start nice and easy here, but over time you can add more extension into your hips and spine, and what you'll see is eventually you'll get to the point where, maybe I could just drop my other arm down and just swing into a full bridge. I've used a ton of one-arm crabs and one-arm bridges over the years. That's why I put so many in all of my guided routines. If you guys want to check out guided, link in description. So the main bridge movement that I used over the years to really help open up is the bridge push-up. So I love the bridge push-up because what you're gonna start with is just a head bridge. So you go down on your back, you push the hips up, you come to the shoulders, and then you're just gonna use your hands just gently to lift off the ground and keep that head down, supporting yourself with your head, hands, and feet. Now you just wanna get comfortable here. The bridge, just like the handstand, is way different than how we usually experience gravity. You're in this weird inverted bendy back position. You have to get your body used to being there. Now, once you feel comfortable, then you just want to start extending the elbow. And now this is when that shoulder strength is going to come in, and it's going to allow you to just gently lift your head off the ground, go into a bridge, and then come back down. Now, for any of you stiff people out there, that's gonna be kind of challenging to start with. And the way that we regress this slightly is just to elevate the feet. So you pop your feet up on a box or a bench, and this is gonna allow you to not have to open the hip quite as much. And it's also gonna allow you to push your hips and your shoulders forward to kind of find that more open position of your shoulder being over your hand. Now from here, I like to do the same thing. Do your bridge push-ups. Maybe do anywhere from 5 to 10 reps. And on that last rep, you're just gonna hold there for anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds. And you wanna just try to get comfortable there. You wanna try to let yourself relax and breathe naturally. So over time, you just wanna take that elevation of the feet lower and lower until you start working on the ground. So simple as that. The bridge will definitely be improved by specific bridge movements going into a bridge, but you can also improve your bridge by, like I showed, stretching out the hips, stretching out the spine, opening up the shoulders more. So what I recommend for most people, because the bridge is very intense in the beginning, is to not do too much of it. You can make a lot of progress in the bridge with just doing 3 to 5 sets a week. If you do want to work on your bridge, but you don't really feel that comfortable starting, I'd recommend checking out our Move Strong Now program. We use a lot of these stretches and exercises that I just showed, and you'll have clear guidance and teaching on progressing those positions. Link in description below. Guys, I gotta shout out Saturno Movement for sending me this dope shirt. It was actually one of Gabo's clips that I used earlier to show a very awesome bridge. Check those guys out, and if you'd like to see a collaboration between Saturno and Strength Side, comment below, let us know. So if you're watching this, I'm sure that you're interested in a back bridge. Where are you on your journey? Why are you trying to develop the back bridge? Do you just want to have a nice, pretty, aesthetic position? Are you more like me and you want to use it for movement? Maybe develop a macaco? Comment below to let me know. If you guys enjoyed seeing my journey and these exercises, then please click that thumbs up button. It really helps us grow. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to Strength Side. I plan to do more of these videos, actually just going through these older bridge clips. I found a lot of early handstand push-up fails, and I actually just reached 5 reps of handstand push-up. So I plan to do a video just like this one, showing my journey in achieving that handstand push-up. You could see all of my failures and learn from it. If you're feeling inspired to move and open up your body right now, here's a great routine that'll actually help you get towards that back bridge. See you guys soon.